is the best. You got that? We don't go to the ground. We can throw, we can wrap up all fights into on the ground. That's how come we're the best. We can take care of it all on the ground. Let's take it. You both are wrong. Give it a rest. Today we're going to talk about combining your martial arts. Is it really MMA, or is it better just to practice one style? Stay tuned. We'll talk about it. Welcome to Shihan's Dojo. I'm Shihan Marty Husband, and we're here today to help you build your martial arts skill. And if you're thinking about taking it, let you know a little more about it. So if you're here for the first time and you want to increase your skills or your knowledge in the martial arts, this is the place you should be. So jab that subscribe button and punch that bell so we can notify you when we have a new video coming out. The question for the day is basically, what martial arts styles do you combine in order to create your own style? Today we're going to discuss what are the best martial arts. Well, there really isn't any one singular martial arts that's the best. It's all dependent on a couple of different factors. One is how good your instructor is or was when teaching you the martial arts, and two, how open your minds are to being receptive to different ideas and techniques. Most people who think their martial arts style is the best don't often have the realization of the many different things that can be wrong with their systems, or maybe that the fact that they just are prejudiced enough that they don't see outside of the box that they're in. I have to sometimes laugh when I hear people say, well, do you practice an MMA style? Well, it depends on your definition of MMA. Well, MMA is not a style. First of all, anybody that thinks it's a style doesn't know what they're talking about. It's not magic martial arts like you see in the intro at the beginning there, but it's important you understand that if you're taking two styles of martial arts, you're essentially doing a mixed martial arts. Now, that mixed martial arts needs to complement each other in covering weaknesses and stuff like that. That's where the best martial arts come from. You have to consider who's your instructors, what they're trying to teach you, and what is missing in your systems. I think today people have a lot better grasp and knowledge of things, but sometimes I think they see too much into what they find on entertainment to be the truth. It's not really so. I mean, I've talked to people who say, well, they want to be able to fight within 6 months after they start learning something in MMA competitions, for example. It isn't going to work for you out there because it takes a lot longer than that to train. Ask any athlete who's ever wanted to do something like that. Now, if you're wanting to do it for self-defense, yes, maybe one style's okay for you, but still in the long run, you're still going to have to think about other styles. Now, a martial arts style does not have to be an Asian style. It can be savate, it could be boxing, it could be so many different things, Greco-wrestling to Krav Maga to Sambo. There are so many martial arts out there. However, each of those martial arts sometimes have a tendency to be weak in certain areas of the martial arts. When you're wanting to train in the martial arts, you have to ask yourself a couple questions. 1, why do I want to do it? 2, how am I going to get there? And 3, who are the best instructors or systems around that are proven around here? When I say around here, I mean in your location. When the martial artist begins to examine their styles and techniques, they have to understand what they're doing and what they're trying to accomplish. If you're taking something for self-defense, do you think mixed martial arts is the way you want to go? I would have to say yes in the end. But I do feel that one thing that people do not understand is they need a base style. So if you've been boxing for 3 or 4 years, yes, you need to jump in there and take something else and help build off that. I think I've covered a lot of those ideas in my cross-training videos. You have to really weigh what you're trying to accomplish either in self-defense or sport. When you're thinking about that, you look around for all the different schools. Find the ones that suit what you're looking for. Now, some of the schools out there will tell you, well, we're the best because we do this and this and this. Well, they may be good in their own areas, but you have to make sure. Find out who the instructor learned under, what they've done, what their rankings are if they have a belt system. If they're not, ask them how long they've been a coach. Now, when I say ask a coach, don't think because they've been a world-class athlete that makes them a great instructor. It doesn't. Instructors is a whole other thing we'll talk about another time, but you have to find a good coach. A good instructor is a good coach. Not necessarily the best world champion that's ever lived or anything like that. It's also nice to find someone who can teach and be able to put it on the floor too. Now, consider for a moment though, if you're doing this for self-defense, what type of self-defense do you want to start working on? Now that's a big question for a lot of people. Some people want to do it for rape prevention, some people want to do it just for strict self-defense, some people just want to do it for exercise. But when you understand that that's what you're trying to do, you can better accommodate what you feel is meet your needs. In self-defense, you have to think about what type of people could be attacking me? Who are they? How do I keep my mindset? So when you're looking for the best martial arts, you have to ask yourself, where is it going to apply itself? Me, I'm a big person in saying you need a stand-up style and a ground style, preferably jiu-jitsu of some kind with karate or taekwondo or Okinawan karate. You have to make sure that each of those complement. There is ground techniques and throws in all of those other styles, but their studies are limited to the point where they don't have the scientific concepts or the better understanding of how to use them. They only get into the sweeps or maybe a few aspects like a hip throw or that there because they don't feel they need to cover any more than that. Well, they do. Because not everybody can do a hip throw, but somebody might be able to do a different kind of throw that they hadn't thought of in jiu-jitsu, but maybe they can do an ukiyo-toshi or something along those lines from judo or jiu-jitsu. Now check out all the martial arts schools in your area if you're going to look at something, but remember these important things. 1, check out that instructor, make sure they're certified in what they're doing. And say they're in some sort of classical style such as karate, jiu-jitsu, even Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Ask them their ranking. If they don't have at least a 3rd degree black belt in a lot of those styles, then they're not going to be very good. And I don't mean that in a bad way. There's so many things that are missed in classical martial arts that lower ranked martial artists have yet to figure out. Remember, if they've got a 1st degree black belt in any classical system, that means they're just a beginner. It means nothing more. And that's something a lot of people forget. So make sure your instructor's qualified. If he's got a high-ranking belt in one style and a low-ranking black belt in another, he might make a pretty good instructor. I mean, if he's got a 5th degree, 4th degree in a karate style and a 1st or 2nd degree in jiu-jitsu, it sounds like the man knows what he's doing. He's able to combine that. So that, in essence, is his mixed martial arts. Make sure that these classes are separated on how you work your stand-up and then how you work yourself doing throws and on the ground. The reason I say that is if you can understand them on their own level, you'll then be able to incorporate them at all levels. That's what's important. Number 2 is make sure you're going to commit yourself. That's the one thing I see a lot of students come out and say, oh, I want to do this and that, and then they realize it's hard work. Number 3 is something to think about too. Do they have the knowledge? Now understand something here. There's a difference between skill and knowledge. And knowledge is the basic way that a coach understands the underlying principles. Each coach should be skilled enough to help you with your own body type to figure out how you can best compete or do your self-defense. Nobody is the same. Everybody's different. That's what makes mixed martial arts so interesting for those who like mixed martial arts. That's also what makes it good for self-defense. Small people can't handle big people all the time, so you have to learn different training ways to handle situations like that for self-defense. If you're exercising, they have to be able to help you set goals so you can do whether you're losing weight or building up muscle. Each of these things have to be considered. So let me reiterate, there is no best style. The best style that can come out of you is how you train. And if you train smart, if you train wisely, and you look around and do real comparisons and not listening to people that have the opinion that their style is the best, you can actually judge better what would be great for you. I hope this has been some help to you out there. And if it has, again, like and share us and tell your friends about it so we can continue to bring you videos. And don't forget to answer the question of the day. What styles of martial arts do you combine to train for your own style? Leave us questions and comments on things you would like to see or better understand. And we'll see you again here on Shihan's Dojo.